So we had a great trip in Hawaii, and I'm really excited to be back. I'm gonna be cooking something new for you guys. This recipe's just been bouncing around in my head, and I'm really excited to try it out and see how it comes out on a plate and just let y'all kind of watch along the process with me. And also, I would like to thank BUYDEEM for sponsoring this video with their new steamer. This one's a larger capacity than the other one. And I'll tell you a little more about it when we get started. So the first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and get some water boiling. So while water starts boiling, I'm gonna go ahead and prep these lobster tails. And we're actually gonna steam some lobster and some shrimp. This is gonna be kind of like a seafood pasta. Just cut right along the top here with a pair of scissors, pretty much back to the tail. And then I'll take off all these legs off the bottom. Now I found for me it's a little easier to pop these out by just cracking this right here. And then we'll do the same thing to the other one. You just kind of pop this open a little bit. I'm gonna pull loose. Then I'm just gonna open it up right here to steam, and I'm gonna sprinkle a little Old Bay in here. The one thing about steaming it is it's gonna give it just a very good, it's gonna keep the lobster flavor very true. You keep that sweet lobster flavor, so I don't wanna over season it. So I've got this held open, and I'm just gonna sprinkle just a tiny bit of Old Bay. So this is the BUYDEEM G67 steamer. This is their biggest one. It's the new one. I'm just gonna kind of show you a little bit about it here. One thing about steaming food, and the reason I'm steaming my lobster today, is it maintains the most of the natural flavor. Especially with seafood, you've got that soft, sweet flavor, and we want to retain that in the dish. It also is kind of a healthier method, or seen as a healthier method. But it's got a huge 7-quart capacity. Put the water in there, I can fill it up here, put this in. It's got this handy feature, I'll show you later, that from either side you can actually add water while it's steaming. A really big steaming tray. I'm gonna be able to fit all the lobster and all the shrimp on here pretty easily. Actually, this goes on first to direct the steam there. A separation of the dirty water and the clean water. You got the clean water comes up from the bottom. And separates. So this is all, you can see how easy it comes apart. It's gonna be super easy to clean. You pretty much just wipe down the stainless steel rack here. It comes with a nice little dish for things that need to be maintained in the dish. I'm gonna steam straight on the rack with our lobster today, so I'll set that aside. Vents on the back, you wanna make sure when you're putting it on that you don't put them on the front. Let's get these things on our steamer here. Let's try this guy. So I've actually got 2 different kinds of seafood going on the steamer. And it's actually quite a bit of it we're going to lay out on here. This thing is their biggest one, BUYDEEM's biggest steamer, the G67. And it's literally got 2 lobster tails and about a cup and a half of shrimp. Going to steam all at once. I'm going to steam it for probably about 6 minutes here. These are smaller tails. And we'll check and make sure everybody's hit the happy temperatures. It's got a lot of pre-selections we can do right here. I've already got it set to seafood right here, and then I can change my time down. We'll just do with what we're doing, we'll just do 8 minutes. It's a very high-powered steamer. It'll start steaming in around 60 seconds. So 1 minute in, it'll be steaming. And I'm gonna put this lid on here. We've got it set for 8 minutes. Let's get going. One feature that was kind of cool I did want to show y'all was, I told you, you can just pour the water in from the sides. As it's steaming, if it did happen to get low, either side, just pour a little water in there to top it off. No mess, no opening the top, no burning yourself, nothing like that. So while our seafood is steaming, I'm gonna go ahead and make our sauce real quick to dump our pasta in here in a second. First thing I'm gonna do here is I've got a lemon, and I'm gonna zest a little bit of this lemon. It's kind of a fresh taste, but I'm really just wanting to use as fresh and light as a feel as I can get with this. With that steamed lobster and that natural sweetness of the lobster meat and that shrimp, it's really going to pair well in my mind. Let's see how this goes. Now I'm going to finish my garlic here. Just breaking the skin here. I'm going to slice these up. Then I'm just going to slice this one into little chips, thin chips here. Now I'm going to use part of this parsley for garnish, and I'm going to use part of this in the sauce. So I've got my lemon zest, my parsley, my garlic, my thyme, some chopped garlic that's a little more texture and bigger, some chips kinda, and then some lemon slices. Don't know what we're gonna do with them yet, but I'm sure I'll find a place for them. Let's go make something out of this. My pasta water's boiling. Sprinkle some salt in there, and I'm gonna go ahead and work my pasta in here. This will cook really quick. We're just going to stir that, since it's frozen, fresh pasta. We're just going to stir that to loosen it up in here. Now let's get started on this. Let's fire this up. So I'm going to start with some butter here. About 3 tablespoons of butter. Just kind of get it going here. Melting down. And as it starts to melt, I'm going to go ahead and add some garlic in there. And cook it till it starts to get soft. That butter's just starting to bubble a little bit. Then I'm going to add in some of this parsley. It's really getting good and foamy. I might let it actually brown just a little bit, and I'll put just a little bit of this lemon in it, lemon zest in it. Ah, this is just a heavenly smell. That parsley is so much more than just garnish. It's got such a fresh aroma to it. When you pair that with a little bit of lemon and garlic, and this is really just a great, I'm gonna let this brown just a little bit if I can. And we're only a little bit away from our pasta being done here. That's the timer for our pasta being done. Let's check that. Oh, perfection. Get that out of there. I put this strainer over a pan so that I can get the pasta water, because I'm gonna keep this pasta water and it's going to go with our Parmesan and our noodles. I actually took a little too long setting the cameras up, and now my steamer has already finished. So I really got to move fast on this sauce right here. I'm just going to same pan right back onto the heat. Add a tiny bit of butter, just about 1 tablespoon here. Really, I just coated the bottom of the pan here, and I'm going to put a little garlic in the sauce. I'm going to use the garlic chips though, because they'll kind of crunch up in the noodles and add a little texture. So now what I'm doing, I've just set this, I've got just a tiny bit of butter, and I've got this garlic in here, and really what I'm doing is I'm just smelling for the garlic. As soon as I start to smell it, it's ready for me to pour my pasta water back in. I can start to smell that garlic really good now. About a half a cup or so. I'm going to dump my noodles back in and just kind of add my Parmesan to them as it's needed. Let's just kind of add this Parmesan at really low heat here, because that water's good and boiling. And let's just mix this in. So the pasta's really pretty much absorbed this water and is making just like a cheesy, creamy, you can just hear it in there, coating to these noodles. And it truly is just coating and absorbing onto these noodles. So I've got about a half a cup of Parmesan and about a half a cup of water, and they've just come together here with just a little bit of garlic flavor. Haven't added any salt and pepper yet, and now you can see that that is just so creamy, so Parmesan-y. And I'll put a little salt and pepper in here now. Because no good dish goes unsalted. A little bit stronger than I was preparing. I don't want it to overpower the seafood, but I really just don't want that super thick, creamy Alfredo. So I think I'm gonna go with it and see how it all ends up at. Let me plate some of this up. Okay, it is time for the moment of truth, and I've got this divided into 2 servings. I'm gonna spread this out on here. This got a big serving of the pasta on it here. I'm gonna put some of these shrimps on here, and this finished just a little bit before I was ready because this thing is very fast. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go with this guy and I'm gonna pop the meat completely out of the shell. Whew, that is hot. I'm going to put some shrimp around here. I'm actually gonna slice this lobster. I saw them do this in Hawaii, and it made it a lot easier to eat because it was with a fork, but it still looked like you could tell it was lobster. I'll just go right under here. And the lobster to me is the highlight. So I really want it to stand out more than the shrimp. Now this is what I want to stand out. And it's got garlic and parsley and everything in it. So this is the moment of truth. I've never done this on camera before. I have never before made a dish that I have never made in my life and just tried it straight out to see how it turned out. Normally what I'll do is I'll try a dish 2 or 3 different ways, 2 or 3 different times, and work my way through it. So I'm just gonna give you my honest feedback with things I'm gonna try different next time or things that I love about it. So now I'm just gonna add a little lemon to this, and maybe I'll add a lemon in my butter next time. But I just wanna drizzle a little lemon on there. I think that's the only thing I'll change. I think I'll put some more of the lemon juice, about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice in that butter. And honestly, there's not a thing I would do different about this. This is amazing. And I will be making this for the family. This is probably like the kind of dish that I would make for Whitney around Valentine's Day. Just coming into spring, you're wanting that light, that seafoody, super light, super fresh taste. And obviously it's good any time of the year. But I love the way that the red from the shrimp, the red from the lobster gives you a little bit of color against the white pasta. The parsley added a lot, even the parsley in the butter, just that green added so much to the dish. And then the crunch of that garlic is something you normally don't have in your pasta. This is a great dish, of course, anytime. But I really would, this is something I may be considering for Valentine's Day for Whitney. And I can tell you, she'll definitely thank me later.